All right, Congresswoman Omar, who once called Israel evil, is now exposing what is now a very ugly bigotry at the heart of the Democratic Party, their radical base. Now, yesterday, The View's Meghan McCain had an emotional reaction to Congresswoman Omar's very incendiary, virulent anti-Semitic statements. Take a look.
I take this very personally. I would go so far as to say I probably verge on being a Zionist as well. But I will say that I don't have family that is Jewish, but Joe Lieberman and Hadassah Lieberman are my family.
Yeah.
And I take the hate crimes rising in this country incredibly seriously, and I think what's happening in Europe is really scary. And I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional, but
you're right.
The idea that this is politicized, I'm really not. I was very nervous to talk about this on the show because I thought it would become politicized, and it really shouldn't be. On both sides, it should be called out.
Wow. Omar responded on Twitter, actually retweeting an Al Jazeera host who said Meghan was expressing faux outrage. Meghan responded by saying the Congresswoman retweeting that quote is trash, is beneath a sitting member of Congress. Here to react to all of this, human rights attorney Brooke Goldstein is with us, Democratic strategist Jason Nichols. You know, Jason, we're now watching this week the Democratic Party, the party that, you know, says they have the most compassion. This is a congresswoman who says that Israel has hypnotized the world and evil. They have repeated absolute anti-Semitic lies about due loyalties. You have in your party prominent presidential candidates not only supporting her, but getting on stage with Linda Sarsour, who supported the genital mutilation of a woman and Sharia law. You're a Democrat. If I was a Democrat tonight, I would be outraged and embarrassed that they couldn't do the right thing or have enough votes to condemn this virulent hate, bigotry, and anti-Semitism. Will you do that?
Well, Sean, I share outrage when it comes...
That's a question. Will you condemn the bigotry and hate of this Congresswoman and people like Linda Sarsour that's on stage with Kirsten Gillibrand? Would you get on stage with Linda Sarsour?
Sean, again, I don't think this is a yes or no question. We have seen is that over 400 Democrats and many Republicans rejected bigotry altogether, including Ilhan Omar, who has some things to learn.
Not by name and the watered-down version. You're not answering my question.
Okay, so Sean,
Here's a simple question. This is a yes or no question. Would you get on stage with a woman like Linda Sarsour?
Well, Sean, I'll tell you this.
No?
What about Kevin?
Is that a complicated question? Would you get on stage with a woman that supported the genital mutilation of another woman and support Sharia law? Would you?
Would you get on stage with Steve Scalise?
Right. Brooke Goldstein, let me go to you because he doesn't want to answer. The answer is obvious. And this is the thing. They want to talk about everything else but the bigoted anti-Semitism that was on display this week, which speaks volumes about the new radical Democratic Party.
Yeah, the failure to unequivocally condemn anti-Semitism is alarming, is extraordinarily scary, and kudos to Meghan McCain for being honest and talking about it. And of course, she and I think the majority of Americans are emotionally distraught at what's happening in the Democratic Party. Now, I remember there was a time when people were advocating for the Black Lives Matter movement to be called All Lives Matter, and the Black Caucus came out against it, and all of the liberals came out against it and said, well, this is racist. Well, I want to know, is it okay to unequivocally condemn racism and bigotry against a minority unless that minority is the Jewish community? Or do we have a double standard in this country? And so many people who are defending Omar are saying, well, shouldn't we be able to debate about this issue? Shouldn't people be free to criticize Israel? Well, yeah, of course they are, but that's not what she's saying. She's not saying Israel is violating international law because its presence in the West Bank or Israel's treatments of Arab minority is illegal. I mean, all those things are false, but she's free to debate it. She is saying American Jews have a dual loyalty. She is saying that American Jews are buying off members of Congress. What if somebody said that every single member of Congress who voted for the Iran deal was bought off by Muslim money? They would be accused of being a racist, and rightly so.
All right, we have not one but two villains of the day coming up, and tonight's closing argument, an important one. Stay with us.